Once again, history has been made. And if you guessed Caitlin Clark is behind it, congratulations, because Clark and the Indiana Fever just broke another record. The Indiana Fever has officially leveled up from just another WNBA team to being America's favorite squad. And no, this isn't some puff piece spin cooked up by ESPN interns. This is real, measurable, undeniable fact. And the rest of the league is finally having to accept it, whether they like it or not. Whether you like the Indiana Fever or not, whether you like Caitlin Clark or not, it has gotten to the point where we can no longer deny the fact that they are the biggest draw in the WNBA, and they proved that all of last season. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she completely flipped the script. And while she's been breaking records, the haters have been busy playing a full court press of denial. But denial doesn't stop the spotlight. With 41 out of 44 games hitting national TV, this isn't some accidental schedule, it's a takeover. The recent news that 41 out of the 44 Indiana Fever games will be nationally televised. I do not think a lot of people are understanding just how big that is. That is something that the WNBA players, WNBA media, WNBA fans have been begging for so many years. And here's the reality. This is just the beginning. What Caitlin Clark has sparked isn't a moment, it's a movement. The Fever have become the WNBA's hottest ticket, the most buzzed about brand, and the team every media outlet now builds its coverage around. You don't have to squint to see it. It's right there in the numbers. Rewind just a couple years and the Indiana Fever were, let's be nice and say, rebuilding. They couldn't fill half a stadium, couldn't buy a headline, and barely made the national broadcast lineup. Now, they're the league's top attraction. So what changed? Simple. One name, Caitlin Clark. Her arrival has transformed the Fever from background extras into box office gold. They've gone from ghost town crowds to full-blown sellouts, at home, on the road, anywhere she steps foot. In fact, demand has been so intense that 6 opposing teams have had to upgrade to NBA-sized arenas just to handle the Clark stampede. Imagine being a rival team and having to call the big arena just to avoid turning fans away at the door. Because the Fever are in town. That's not just popularity, that's pressure. And the real crown jewel in all of this? The TV schedule. 41 out of 44 games, aired across ABC, ESPN, CBS, NBA TV, and even Prime Video. That's not some extra coverage, that's more coverage than the defending champs. It's the most nationally televised games any WNBA team has ever been given in one season. And no, this wasn't gifted. This was earned. This one blew up. I don't know who this person is, but they said all Caitlin Clark has done is de-white. Let's be clear. TV networks don't care about fairness. They care about ratings. And Caitlin Clark doesn't just bring viewers. She brings millions of them. She is the WNBA's walking stimulus package. A walking ratings boost. It's no wonder every network is clamoring for a piece of her schedule like it's a playoff bracket. Last year, one completely random regular season Fever game drew 2.2 million viewers, more than the actual WNBA finals. You read that right. Regular season Fever games drew more than the actual championship series. And while some critics are out here filing complaints about fairness, the truth is this. Caitlin Clark's visibility helps every single team in the league, with everyone trying to diminish the wave that was happening, the Clarkonomics that were happening, the Caitlin Clark effect that was happening, and realizing it is not only going to be good for this Indiana Fever team, it's going to be great for everyone. It's going to be great for every single player in the WNBA, and also every single team in the WNBA. Think about it. When the Fever show up, the opponent gets their biggest platform of the season. Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, they're cashing in. The Liberty and Aces, suddenly relevant to millions more, because they get to share the court with Clark. So while a few players are busy side-eyeing the spotlight, they should probably thank Caitlin for the boost in their social media mentions and endorsement checks. The reality is this. Caitlin Clark is carrying the league's visibility like it's a gym bag. The WNBA knows it. The fans know it. Even the haters secretly know it. That's why nearly every one of her games is being broadcast worldwide. Because whether you're a fan, a critic, or a bitter rival trying to pretend you're not watching, you are watching. Caitlin Clark is must-see TV. And this isn't just about basketball anymore. This is business. The WNBA has spent years trying to break into the mainstream, fighting for viewers, ticket sales, and attention. Now they have a walking highlight reel doing all that and more. And she's only just getting started. Let's kick things off with the receipts. Before Caitlin Clark's arrival, the Indiana Fever was basically the WNBA's version of a clearance rack team. There, but rarely picked up. Fast forward, and now they're the hottest show in sports. Last season, the Fever pulled over 340,000 fans through the gates at home games, a mind-boggling 319% increase from the year before. We're talking about a team that couldn't get 80,000 fans total in 2023. Now they're stacking attendance like it's playoff time every night. And the best part? It's not just Indiana, it's everywhere. More people are getting on board. More people are watching women's basketball. More people are watching women's college basketball. Do not slow the momentum because of ego. Caitlin Clark draws massive viewership and other teams don't. Caitlin Clark averaged about 1.2 million viewers per game and the rest of the league about 400 to 500,000. Across the league, franchises are scrambling to adjust to the Clark-sized tsunami. When the Fever come to town, it's no longer business as usual. Teams are literally abandoning their cozy little arenas and leveling up to NBA-sized venues to handle the crowd surge. Chicago Sky is heading to the United Center. The Dallas Wings are bumping up to the Mavericks' home court. Atlanta Dream, welcome to State Farm Arena. And Connecticut, they're moving to the TD Garden like they're the Celtics. These aren't random upgrades. These are emergency responses to Caitlin-induced mania. This isn't hype. This is economics. Teams know that hosting the Fever isn't just another game. It's a payday. Bigger venues mean more fans, more merchandise, more concessions, more revenue. And that extra cash, it helps build a stronger, healthier league. Caitlin Clark isn't just growing the game, she's helping fund the future of it. 6 WNBA networks set ratings records this season, all Caitlin Clark. 23 WNBA games drew more than 1 million viewers. Clark played in 20 of them. And don't even get us started on merch. Caitlin's jersey didn't just top the charts, it obliterated them. She outsold every player in the league combined. That's not a fluke. That's a phenomenon. Thanks to Clark, the Indiana Fever has gone from being a team only locals knew about to one of the top-selling franchises in all of women's sports. She's not just a player, she's a brand. Let's talk real numbers. Fever games accounted for half of the WNBA's national TV revenue last season. Half. One team, one rookie. League-wide attendance jumped 48%. And more WNBA games passed the 1 million viewer mark in 2024 alone than in the previous 2 decades combined. What's the common denominator across all of this? Go ahead, say it with me. Caitlin, freaking Clark. This is exactly what fans and players have been begging for. Visibility, sold-out games, big TV deals. And now that it's actually happening, some folks are suddenly uncomfortable. Curious. The only reason the WNBA has become must-see TV overnight is because Caitlin Clark is the show. She's not just participating in this league. She's reprogramming it. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever schedule has come out. We now know how many national games they got. The Indiana Fever is America's team, but the old WNBA fans are furious over it. They're mad, they're crying, and with all that success, you already know the backlash was coming. Because in sports, when one player starts shining too bright, there's always a squad of haters ready to throw shade. While fans are packing arenas and TV networks are rolling in ad dollars, a few salty voices are doing their best to tear Clark down. Al, the Atlanta Dream owner, said that they were moving venues only because of the scheduling conflict. It wasn't because the Indiana Fever were coming in town, like they made up some weird excuse. Boycott watching the Indiana Fever game. You are only doing that if you don't care about anyone else. So what's their gripe? Let's start with the fake drama. You know, the media-fueled rivalry with Angel Reese. From the second Clark was drafted, this forced narrative got shoved down our throats. Every Fever versus Sky matchup turned into a tabloid spectacle. But let's be real, this isn't a rivalry, it's a soap opera. On one side, you've got Clark out here breaking records and redefining what success looks like. On the other, Reese generating drama with cryptic likes, shady interviews, and passive-aggressive social media antics. Clark's not playing into it. She's too busy, actually winning. She's not trying to be a reality TV star. She's trying to be the best to ever do it. Her game speaks louder than any tweet ever could. While others are busy throwing shade, Caitlin's dropping buckets and cashing broadcast checks. The Indiana Fever is America's team. The haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are gonna have exploded already. They're gonna be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. It's going to be hilarious watching the daily meltdown. And then there's the tired old overhyped argument. Seriously, this one needs to retire. People say she's only big because of the media. Let's pause. Clark didn't beg for 41 nationally televised games. Those were handed to her by networks that knew she delivers viewers. She didn't make her jersey a bestseller. Fans bought it. She didn't ask for opposing teams to switch venues. They had to, because the demand was too big to ignore. Caitlin Clark isn't just catching a wave. She is the wave. And let's call out the double standard while we're here. When guys like Steph Curry redefine basketball with their style of play, they're called revolutionaries. When Patrick Mahomes flips the NFL on his head, he's hailed as a generational talent. But the second a woman dominates the sports world, suddenly it's too much attention, overexposed, or the media is pushing her. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a jump shot. And here's where it gets even more embarrassing for the critics. Despite everything Clark has done, breaking records, pulling insane viewership, filling up NBA arenas, there are still people out here refusing to give her credit. She's not just lifting herself, she's boosting every player's profile in the league just by stepping on the court. Yet some folks still want to act like her rise is just luck, or that the league is forcing her into stardom. Meanwhile, players like Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are threatening to boycott unless they get bigger paychecks, ironically made possible by Clark's impact on the bottom line. Let that sink in. The very people trying to sideline her are cashing in because of her. The Indiana Fever will have more nationally televised games this season than the last two WNBA champions. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever get the most airtime because they're America's team, baby. Deal with it slow. At the end of the day, this backlash isn't about who's good at basketball. It's not about fairness. It's about egos bruised and narratives broken. Caitlin Clark has become the most important figure in WNBA history, and instead of recognizing the opportunity, some people are too busy throwing shade from the bench. They'd rather torpedo the momentum than admit the game has changed, and that she's the one who changed it. But here's the plot twist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many headlines the haters write. It doesn't matter how many excuses they cook up. Caitlin Clark's presence is undeniable. She's here, she's taking over, and no amount of envy is going to slow her down. We're past the point of potential. We're in the era of proof. Clark has transformed the WNBA in real time, and she's not asking for permission. The Indiana Fever, no longer a middle-of-the-pack team. They are the team. The sold-out arenas, the record-setting broadcasts, the historic jersey sales, it all points back to Clark. America has chosen its squad, and it wears red, navy, and white. The Fever are now the league's main event. And it's all because one player showed up and changed the game from top to bottom. And, yeah, the usual suspects will keep moaning. Angel Reese will keep pouting. A'ja Wilson might send out another cryptic tweet. But while they're stuck in their feelings, Caitlin Clark is out here winning, rewriting the record books, and carrying the WNBA into a new golden age. So the only question left isn't, will Caitlin Clark dominate? She already is. The only question is, how far is this going to go? Because if the first chapter is anything to go by, this story's just getting started. Are you excited for the upcoming season? Let us know in the comments.